Valerie Mahaffey was born in Indonesia and moved to Austin, Texas at the age of 16. Mahaffey graduated from Austin High School and attended the BFA in University of Texas at Austin in 1975 and later made her Broadway debut in musical Rex. Mahaffey was a regular cast member in the soap opera The Doctors from 1979 to 1981, which earned her a nomination for Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series in 1980. She starred in the film Women of Valor in 1986, and while the characters are fictitious, it portrayed women's roles in the Philippines during World War II. As of late 1980s, Mahaffey began acting in television comedies like Newhart, Cheers, and Seinfeld. From 1992 to 93, she starred in the short-lived NBC sitcom The Powers That Be. She played Tracy Milford in the 1995 film National Lampoon's Senior Trip and Jan Kempster in the 1997 film Jungle to Jungle. In 1999, she had a recurring role on ER. In 2003, she starred in the film Seabiscuit. In 2009, she appeared in 7 episodes of The United States of Tara. Her stage credits include Eastern Standard, Talking Heads, Top Girls, and the aforementioned Rex. Mahaffey won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series for her performance as the chronic hypochondriac Eve in the CBS series Northern Exposure in 1992. Mahaffey was the only actor from the series to win an Emmy Award. Mahaffey played Alma Hodge in Season 3 of ABC's comedy drama series Desperate Housewives from 2006 to 2007. Mahaffey has made guest appearances in LA Law, Ally McBeal, Judging Amy, The West Wing, Law & Order, Special Victims Unit, Frasier, CSI Crime Scene Investigation, Private Practice, Boston Legal, Without a Trace, Hannah Montana, and Raising Hope. She also appeared on Glee as a mother of Emma Pillsbury from 2011 to 2013. Mahaffey co-starred as Fran Horowitz on the short-lived TNT medical drama Monday Mornings in 2013. Also in 2013, she had a recurring role on Lifetime Television's comedy drama series Devious Maids as Olivia Rice. Mahaffey is credited as executive producer of Summer 11, the poignant coming-of-age story about a group of 11-year-old girls in their final summer before middle school, in which she also plays Linda. More recently, Mahaffey takes on the role of Lisa in No Pay Nudity, a film about hanging out, hanging in, hanging on, due for release in the near future. On the 15th of January 2009, the world witnessed one of the most remarkable emergency landings in aviation history, when Captain Chelsea Sully Sullenberger skillfully glided US Airways Flight 1549 onto the surface of the Hudson River, saving the lives of all 155 aboard. His cool actions not only averted tragedy, but also made him a hero and an inspiration worldwide. But the storm was yet to come, a storm which could ruin the life of a hero. The film Sully is currently in post-production. Mahaffey plays Diane Higgins. Leapers know Valerie Mahaffey best as Mary Greeley in the Halloween episode of Quantum Leap. Albie was lucky enough to be able to talk to her, so now please enjoy Albie's conversation with Valerie Mahaffey.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the Quantum Leap podcast. I'm so honored to have you on here. I'm a very big fan of your work, and I love what you do. And in particular, this episode of Quantum Leap, where you played Mary Greeley in the Quantum Leap episode, The Boogeyman. Could you tell me a little bit about how you got the part?
Yes, I was pretty recently here from New York and kind of brave because I'd done a lot of theater and I'd done an accent like that. And I thought, well, I'll just pull that out of my pocket and audition with it. And I just rewatched it and I sound like Catherine Byrne. It kind of makes me laugh. Anyway, I auditioned and they liked it.
Can you tell me what you remember about the filming of it? I know it was 25 years ago, but can you tell me anything interesting or just the whole process of it?
Yeah. There were a couple of things that I remembered, even though I hadn't just watched it like I have just now. But I remember, you remember those snakes?
Yeah.
The black mamba snakes?
Mm-hmm.
I remember that they had one that kind of looked like it that was not a black mamba, and then they had a real one. I was like, oh my gosh, please don't mix them up. It was a little freaky. I remember leaping up onto that kitchen counter and, that was spooky. And then I really enjoyed working with Scott. He was just kind of such a nice guy, just terrific to work with. And that kid who played the young Stevie King, David Kriegel, we had a really good time. And, it was good.
That was a fun part of the episode for Stephen King fans to pick up little clues that was actually Stephen King the whole episode.
Well, right. My daughter just watched it with me. I did this way before she was born, and she just watched it, and she called it right at the top of the episode. I'm like, oh, be quiet. Wait for the surprise at the end,
You mentioned the accent you did in this part. What kind of accent was that? That was very interesting, and I think it made the character a lot more mysterious almost.
Yeah, it's New Hampshire, Maine sort of accent. I don't know how accurate it was, but, pretty good, I guess.
One part I noticed is when your character had the seizure, and that, for me, it looked very difficult in knowing how many takes and different setups they have to do and how many times you have to do a certain scene. Mm-hmm. Was doing that whole seizure scene very difficult for you, or did it take a long time, or how did you approach that?
I don't think it took a long time, and that was a really interesting thing. I researched it a bit, and I think I was in an acting class at the time, and I experimented there, or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe I did it here and then threw it in improv in my class. But no, I'm kind of brave, and I just did it. I wanted to know what it was like, and I asked a medical person, I think, and also my friend whose child has epilepsy, asked her about it, I think. Yeah, I just sort of threw myself into it.
Good job.
Thank you.
One question I just thought of while remembering the episode, I just watched it as well. When you pass by Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell on the stairs, and you kind of notice Dean Stockwell's character, were you supposed to kind of notice him? Do you remember?
In rewatching it, too, I think the fact that it was not really him, but was actually the devil, mm-hmm. that it made the hair on the back of the neck stand up or something like that,
Yeah.
Because I was watching it too and thinking, oh, yes, I must have been told to do that.
Have you heard that this episode of Quantum Leap has got kind of like a reputation that it's haunted and strange things happen around this episode?
No, you need to tell me about this. That's really interesting.
It's for Quantum Leap fans, it's become something fun, kind of like that Scottish play you're not supposed to name.
Yeah.
A lot of the fans don't mention the name of the episode because so many weird occurrences have happened around people viewing it.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe in that silly stuff, but it's interesting that everybody gets freaked out by the episode. I think it shows how good the episode came out and how much of a creepy feeling people get from it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And my husband sat and watched most of it too and said, "Yeah, that was really good." So, yeah.
Didn't have any problems with your TV or anything while it was playing?
No.
Okay, cool. No. You've been in so many things. It's hard to pick what to ask you about, talk to you about, but some of my favorites. I really love Glee. I was a huge fan of Glee, and you were on that. You were great. And can you tell me a little bit about being on Glee and just your experience with that?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to play a character that's just so wrong is sometimes great. I mean, to be a ginger supremacist, that's hysterical, I think. And, and it was, I really enjoyed that dinner scene with Jayma and Matt and just how wrong the characters were.
It was cool how when they went to get redheads, they went and got you and Don Most.
Yes, it was so great. He's a great guy. That was fun.
It looked like a lot of fun. That was a fun show.
Yeah.
Northern Exposure. You won an Emmy for that.
Yes, I know.
Tell me what that was like.
Well, that was fantastic. That was one of those things that it just was so great to do and had such a good time. I know this sounds like I'm saying this about everything, but such a good time with Adam Arkin and Rob Morrow and everyone. And so to get the cherry on the top, to get a nomination, never mind winning a prize for it, it was just like, well, are you kidding me? I would have done this for free almost, you know? It was so much fun. I have never had dailies before. You know what those are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Rob actually snuck me a copy of some dailies because there was one time when Adam and Rob and I could not hold it together. It was Adam's fault. He started the laughter, and it was like 20 minutes of us blowing takes because something got our funny bone, and it is the funniest thing to watch. And I remember the producers, who were great, you know, looking at their watches like, come on, guys, get it together, you know? Mm-hmm. And you just couldn't. Oh, my goodness. That was fun.
Great show, great actors, great writing.
Yeah, great writing. Yeah, just terrific all the way around.
What's that like every time you're introduced to be introduced as an Emmy Award-winning actress?
Well, it didn't happen all that often, but it's a nice thing. It's a very nice thing, you know. I'm proud of it. And it's just, here's a funny thing to say. The only bad thing about winning an Emmy or being nominated, I suppose, is that it wasn't on your radar at all. Mm-hmm. You just did the work for the joy of it. Mm-hmm. And then once you get one, you're kind of like, well, my work in that thing was just as good. Why aren't I? You know, it's just not so good in that way, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people probably recognize you and think of you from your episode you did of Seinfeld. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, my goodness, yes. That and Northern Exposure and Wings are probably, well, no, there's some others, but Seinfeld the most. I get recognized all the time for that. That was a trip. I remember a great story where Jerry's generosity and Larry David, we did a table read of it, and I don't know if you remember the episode, but I'm someone who makes papier-mâché hats.
Right.
You remember?
Yeah.
And with chopsticks in my hair, real highfalutin gal, right? Uh-huh. And in the read-through, I said papier-mâché hats, and everybody laughed. And then we were rehearsing it, and I said it again, and they were saying, yeah, you know, it's kind of a joke on a joke. The fact that she makes papier-mâché hats is the joke, not that she says it in the French way. I was like, well, but I think it's kind of funny because she's kind of, you know. But, you know, finally they beat me down, and the next, you know, 2 or 3 rehearsals, I said papier-mâché hats. And they said, you know what? You're right. Put it back. And so that was really cool that they realized that it was just a little addition to the character rather than it being a joke on top of a joke, you know?
That's awesome. It does make it funnier every time.
Yeah, it does. And that's what sometimes people say to me. You're the girl that made papier-mâché hats. I'm like, yes, I am. That's right.
Not a bad thing to be known for.
Yeah.
Making people laugh. So that's great.
Yes. Yes.
I noticed you were the executive producer of a film called Summer 11.
Yes.
What is that like, stepping into that role of executive producer of a film?
Well, it was a giant jump into filmmaking. My husband and I wrote this story around what we were going through at the time. And it's about 4 little girls and their families. And the little girls are all 11 years old. And we used our own money to make the movie. And so it was really on a budget. So, my goodness, I wasn't just executive producer. I was making the coffee in the morning. I was doing wardrobe. I was acting in it. I was, you know, driving down to my mother's nursing home to trade out wheelchairs because we needed a different wheelchair that worked better. I was riding on a bicycle to go ask gardeners to stop for a minute while we were shooting it. We just, all of us, it was such a small crew and everything, and we just did everything. And a lot of fun and hard work, and just amazing that it is still on Netflix and little girls all over the country are still writing to my daughter and the other girls who were in it, and just love it. It's sort of a coming-of-age story for that age group, and that was an amazing thing. I sort of feel like I have my master's in filmmaking now, you know? Yeah, that was good.
I have a daughter, so I'm very happy that there's things out there like that she can watch and enjoy.
Oh. How old is your daughter?
She just turned 3 a little bit ago, so not quite her age range, but I'm sure.
No, not yet. But you know what you should check out, though?
What?
When my daughter was 8, I directed a version of A Midsummer Night's Dream, but where I was an old fairy with these little sprites that sort of lead everybody through the story. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, what are they doing over there? Well, they're blah-de-blah-de-blah. And then the 8-year-olds would do Shakespeare. Oh. And it's really good.
Really cool. What's that called?
It's A Midsummer Night's Dream. And if you look it up on YouTube or something, I forget how you can get it now. But when she's a little bit older, have her watch that. Bunch of little kids in it doing Shakespeare and me.
That just sounds like fun in general.
Yeah.
Since you were executive producer and also so many other things on Summer 11, did you feel like a greater sense of accomplishment when it was finally done?
Yes, big time.
And did it turn out like you liked it, like you wanted it to?
You know what? This is almost never happens. Because it was our money, we made every decision. And so, yes, we're really proud of it. It's like every little, how much of a gap between that and the music cue, blah-de-blah. It's all the director, Joseph Kell, and me. It's our movie. It's really proud of it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You have done so many things. You've had an amazing career. Is there something that fans of yours that might want to check out, like they might not have seen it or it might not have gotten as much exposure as you had hoped? Something that people could like go look up and enjoy?
There's a movie I did, but I don't know if it's available anywhere. It's kind of wonderful with Juliet Stevenson and Danny Stern and me and Checky Carriou, that French actor. Called A Previous Engagement. That's kind of fun. And then a movie I did with Marcia Gay Harden and my husband Joseph Kell and Aidan Quinn called If I Were You, and that's on Netflix, I think.
Going back to Quantum Leap, I've heard from people what it's like to play the good guy or the bad guy, but what's it like to play a red herring where people are assuming the whole time watching it, maybe, like I was when I saw it the first time, that you were the one who done it?
You know, as an actor, you just have to play it straight. You can't play that you're the red herring. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That would be weird. You'd be a big old fake actor. So you just play the truth of whatever it is in that moment. I think I've had to do something similar before. It's like when a character is lying, there's a decision, are they a good liar? And you have to lie well. You can't be twirling your mustache like, oh, I'm lying now and I'm evil, you know?
Watching Quantum Leap, we notice all the little things, and we've noticed a lot on Quantum Leap that the red herring happens to have red hair. Is that a thing in Hollywood, or maybe just a Quantum Leap thing? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like in Quantum Leap anyway. Everybody with red hair seems to be a red herring.
That is so funny. I don't know if that's a thing. I mean, it's more, I guess, rare, so maybe people gravitate to that. I don't know.
Has anything interesting or any funny stories happened in your life as a result of being on Quantum Leap?
Well, not really, except maybe I'm trying to remember, this was such a long time ago, but having to do that epileptic fit,
yeah.
I think the way it went was I did it in the episode, and then I happened to be in this improvisational acting class shortly around that time, and we had to do an exercise that was something where you absolutely top the other person. And so, actors were yelling and they were, being weird. And I just fell to the ground and had an epileptic fit. And everybody just started to laugh because it was like, okay, you win. Yeah. So that's the only thing I can think of.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You win. That's awesome.
I
would say so.
I won.
So, overall, what was your experience like working on Quantum Leap?
It was wonderful. I was fairly new to Los Angeles, and I had spent, the previous 10 years in New York doing mostly theater and so on. So I was kind of like new to doing episodes of TV, and it was very rewarding. That was quite a big part, and it was very rewarding in that way. Yeah. Oh, I did notice one thing. Scott Bakula, it was so interesting to me because he was so comfortable in front of the camera. And I have become comfortable, but I wasn't back then. And I was very envious because I thought, being the actor that is there all the time, you just can't stay nervous, when you're the person that's always doing it. It would be too tiring to be nervous all the time. And I longed for that. And there was no way to acquire it without being a regular on a show or something. But I've had enough time now, and I always think of him. I think, well, I have it now, Scott. I have that thing, that relaxation, where I don't tense up when they call action or whatever,
Is he really the good guy that everybody says he is?
Yes.
Awesome.
He really is.
It's nice
Very
to hear.
sweet man. Yep.
You have a awesome project coming out. Clint Eastwood is directing it, and it's got Tom Hanks in it. That's a big deal.
Yes, it is a big deal. I feel so fortunate to have done this. We just wrapped on it last week, and
what can you tell me without getting in trouble?
Not much. Yeah.
Okay.
Nowadays in Hollywood, non-disclosure agreements,
That's true.
I think I'm allowed to say
that you're in it.
I'm in it, and I think I'm allowed to say. I must be allowed to say this. It's about Chesley Sullenberger, who landed that plane on the Hudson.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. I know I'll see it because I see everything with Tom Hanks because he just is amazing.
Oh, he's so good. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans of your work and your fans from Quantum Leap also?
Well, just thank you for watching, and I'm so lucky to still be doing this, So many young actors start out and they don't get to go this long, and that's the fans that keep that going. So thank you very much. And I'm approached almost daily, and people think, don't I know you? Sometimes they know my name. Sometimes they know exactly what I've done. And some people, they just know I've been in their home or something, or in their neighborhood. Yeah. I'm like, no, well, it might be because I'm an actress. It's kind of nice that they think they know me, Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I really appreciate it.
Certainly, Albie. I really enjoyed it.